Hello. Good evening. Well, for me, it's 7:44 right now. So, yeah. You're probably not going to watch it at 7:44, though. It'd be cool if you did. I decided that I'm going to begin a series of videos now on the subject of human nature. Because I'm always kind of baffled that people, give the response people give to things about war or poverty or racism and stuff like that. And so yeah, but that's just human nature. What are you gonna do? You can't do anything about it. I think that's so fatalistic. I think it's so baseless of such a ridiculous answer. It's in my opinion, it's an easy way out to say, yeah, that's just how things are. When someone tells you it is what it is, that's the sign of someone who's complacent. It's not a healthy way to go about the world, to think that you can't change things, even if you actually can't. It's always good to think you can, because as soon as people stop believing they can't change anything, that's when change becomes impossible. So yeah, people talk about all the time, like, yeah, but racism is never going to go away. Really? You don't think that? Really? People said slavery wasn't going to go away either. It's illegal in every single country. Sure, there's still slavery, but it's illegal everywhere. People, forget the fact that for most of human history, our human nature was to be hunting and gathering nomads in the plains of Africa. As you can tell, most people don't live in Africa anymore. And in fact, most people aren't hunter-gatherers, and most people aren't nomads. Human nature has changed countless times. Human nature, I guess you could say, first changed when we discovered how to tame fire. That completely revolutionized human nature, because now we didn't have to be afraid of the dark. We could think. We could look up at the stars and see what's up there and ask questions. That's changing human nature. So you just started to build more complex tools like spears and bows and arrows. These things revolutionized not just the way we lived, but the way we were. We didn't just wake up one morning and make a bow and we're the same person. No, we realized that we could change the world. We could dominate the planet. It's not far-fetched to say that human nature can change. It's changing right now. If you look throughout history, for the past 10,000 years, ever since the invention of agriculture, men in almost every single society tended to dominate women. I don't think it's because of any subversive nature of men. I think it's just kind of the luck of the draw, and that it's, kind of the sexual dimorphism between males and females that kind of lended to that outcome. But, I think if you change some of the events around, some of the preceding events in human history, women could have easily ended up on top, and they would have been men who would have been those, oppressed. But I don't think it's the product of human nature or genetics to suppress people or to be discriminatory against people. Actually, that kind of goes against what genetics would say, what evolution would suggest. Evolution would seem to suggest that making offspring with people outside of your general gene pool is beneficial to the species. That's why chimps don't marry within their group most of the time. That's why smaller tribal people, nomadic societies and pastoralists, that's why they tend to marry outside the group. Because once you start marrying inside, it's kind of weird. And it, it also goes to show that incest is a taboo in every single culture. You'll never find a culture where it's totally okay to, I don't know, do that. You won't. You won't. Period. I mean, you find different, varying degrees of what the gray line is. I mean, in the West, it's kind of, if there's any sort of relationship, it's wrong. But other cultures, it's like 8th cousin, 5th cousin. It's, but the strict idea of incest is a taboo in every culture. Every single culture. That goes to show that we're not supposed to keep within our bounds as a people. A lot of people said that it was wrong to marry outside your race, to whatever, in the 60s and before that. But we know that's ridiculous. It doesn't mean anything. It doesn't even matter. But if you go back even further, people were saying that you can't free the slaves. That's ridiculous. And you're never going to free the slaves. You can't change that. It's going to be forever. Just like people thought that racism is going to be around forever today, or that homophobia is going to be around forever. I mean, that's such a pessimistic and unobservant way to look at things. It is. I can't fathom it. Women's rights. 10,000 years women have been oppressed. And what happens in the past 80 years, 100 years, I guess, it's been unbelievable the progress that's been made. So yeah, slavery, women's rights, racism, these things are all solvable. Even poverty, even war is not subject. Even war is subject to the evolution of human nature. Everything in this world, everything in our society is a product of evolution. And not necessarily of scientific evolution. Not necessarily in that sense either. I mean, a general evolution, a change, in time. Technology is a result of that. Everything. Pollution, poverty, wealth, tyranny, democracy. All these things are the product of the evolution of the human mind and of the body and, all that stuff. So I guess that's kind of what this series is going to be about. Every time I make a video, it'll be a different topic on the human nature of that topic. I know that I don't make videos often, but because I don't have a reason to. I mean, nobody really watches my videos except for a few people. But the more people, if you share them with people, I guess I'll start making more. But as it stands now, I'll just make them when I, have the inspiration to. But I'd like to make a lot of these because this is a pretty interesting topic. Human nature. People think it's this unchanging, solid thing, but it's like water. You can push it around and put it in shapes and put it in cups and throw it around, burn it, boil it, freeze it. You can do anything with it. There's not just one human nature. But anyway, it's for another day. Alrighty. Arrivederci.